of the United States. I don't think I caricature his position very much. Yes, it's wrong. Yes, it has flaws. Yes, we have a long way to go. Generally speaking, though, it is not self-interest or rapacity that drives it. Generally speaking, it is on the side of the angels and so forth. And this makes it easier for one to acknowledge the flaws as a Christian must, robbed as he now is of the accusation that his enemies are godless. Well, I disagree with this, but not perhaps in the way that some of you did, or not to judge by the barracking. Obviously, it is true that capitalism makes countries wealthier. At least, let me say, nobody who doesn't think that's true has read beyond Chapter 1 of Volume 1 of Das Kapital, and there are 3 volumes, all of them tending to the view that capitalism is the greatest engine of production, innovation, and prosperity yet devised by humanity. It also argues, I think, quite persuasively in places that it is not the last word, and that while it does make some countries richer, there are interesting questions as to how it does so, as to which countries it makes poorer, and as to which people it makes rich in the countries it does enrich. And these, if I may coin a phrase, these contradictions are still with us. And they are often to do with empire. For example, would you like to imagine the periphery of Thailand, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, the 3 tigers of capitalism as they're known in Asia, and their patron in the United States? Would you like to imagine them or their economy if there was no such thing as a war economy in the United States? Take away the war economy from California, for example. How does the equation look? Is capitalism still driven by rational accumulation in this respect? Is the manufacture of weapons the safest or the wisest way in which to close the famous gap between production and consumption, and to end the cycle of falling rate of profit and overproduction? Probably not. It's a very good way, but it has destabilization that comes with it. Take another case. Take the Africa you mentioned. Why is it that the most rapacious, the most wasteful, the most environmentally destructive, and the most exploitative, and the most dictatorial country in Africa, in black Africa, to stay with your analogy, is almost certainly Mobutu's Zaire, which is the closest friend of the American multinational corporation? Why is it that the Tiananmen Square faction in the Chinese party is the same faction of the party that is the keenest on the enterprise zone and the penetration of China by denominated foreign capital, and for that reason enjoys political protection from Washington? Is that a contradiction for your view? It certainly isn't for mine. I hope it isn't a harmonious view in your own Weltanschauung. I think not, upon examination. In other words, there's a great deal still to do. There'll be even more to do. We will find history has not come to an end when countries like South Korea and Brazil actually achieve capitalism. In other words, when it gets to the point where the workers will be able to afford, or at least afford to demand the right to purchase what they make. That point hasn't been reached yet. We haven't yet reached the 19th century capitalist model, but all the models of 19th century capitalism are about to replicate, and we will fool ourselves if we start thinking of a world without ideology, run by benevolent superpowers, indifferent to history, and apparently controlled by no particular interest except divine providence. Ça va.
I was going to give each of you 2 minutes to sort of conclude whatever you wanted to say in closing. The question is, who will get the last word? Does either of you want to...
You got the last one.
Go first or last?
Well, I got the first, so...
All right. Mr. Kondracke?
No, so he gets the last.
No.
If you want to, it's yours.
I'll go now, and then you can have the last word. Okay. The question is I take it that we've talked about the just war. I can't think about what else there is to say about the just war. Either you think it was or you think it wasn't by this time. I question Christopher's casualty estimates. I thought I had read absolutely everything in most of the press about the war, and I've never seen the casualty figures that he cited. Now, I would be glad to take the citations and run along home with them and look them up. But if Schwarzkopf had said that 100,000 enemy troops had been killed, I would have thought that it would have been on the front page of absolutely every paper and on the. Here we go. Whenever I say that, I'm usually wrong. He's got the site, but not the article. In any event, if that's the case, 100,000 is a lot of people. And would I say that this was not a just war? I would say that it would strain my concept of justice for us to have killed 100,000 people. And tens of thousands of civilians. I think that we do reach the limit with those kind. Then you ask, well, how many is? What's your number? I have no number, right? We went into this war. We did not go into this war intending to kill 100,000 people. We went into this war intending to get Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait and to do so with the minimum amount of Allied casualties. And we bombed a great deal because we thought we had to. We did not do this out of some sort of bloodlust. We did it to reduce the amount of resistance that we would face if we had to go into the country, and we hoped that the military, the Iraqi military, would cut and run under the bombing, and that there wouldn't have to be a ground invasion at all. And that's the reason that it happened. The final thing I would just leave you with is on this question of in what direction is the destiny of the world, and are we part of the answer or part of the evil, as I think Christopher and some of you other people believe, a contributor to the evil in the problem. My notion is, as I said, a world of law. My notion is a world of democratic capitalism where workers have a right to organize, and increasingly they do. A place where people get to elect their own leaders. A world where when they have an election, the election means something. Where they have a system of justice, an independent judiciary, and where the military does not run the country and the civilians rule instead. Now, I would like to think that this world, which is a great deal like the ideal of Western democratic capitalism, is on the ascendancy around the world. However, there are challenges to it, and the challenges sometimes are violent, and the violence has sometimes